Good morning and welcome to the E-class of St.Xaviers High School, Adipur. Today we are going to study Science of Standard 8, chapter number 7, that is Conservation of Plants and Animals, part 1. So conservation of plants, as its name suggests that the conservation means हमें उसको protect करना पड़ेगा. To whom? To the plants. To maintain the plant species as well as animals. Okay. So the first topic of this chapter, that is deforestation and its causes. So what is deforestation? Deforestation is the cutting of the trees, okay, the removal of the trees from the earth. That is the deforestation. Forest cutting, okay, forest diminution, that is the deforestation. And what are the causes? Why these deforestations have been occurring from a long time, and how they will be affecting to the humankind as well as any other organisms. A great variety of plants and animals exist on earth. Yes, the great variety is there on earth. Several kinds of animals, several kinds of human beings, several kinds of insects, etc. are there on our earth. They are essential for the well-being and survival of mankind. Today, a major threat to survival of these organisms is the deforestation. So, due to this deforestation, the mankind is in the danger. Because, why mankind I am saying? Because if the trees would not be there, we will not get oxygen. And if the oxygen will not be there, then how we will be able to respire? Okay. So, it has been the threat for the survival of every living organism on the earth. Deforestation means clearing of forests and using the land for other purposes. Trees in the forest are cut for some of the purposes mentioned below. Procuring land for cultivation, okay, for the farmers also they cut the forest and they do the farming. Building houses and factories. So if we might have observed that the factories are far away from the city. Why? Because it doesn't affect the city area, but it is affecting the forest, okay, because after the city the forest would be there. So factories, they remove the trees and then they cut the trees and remove the forest, and then they be on the forest area for the factories. Some making furniture or using wood as a fuel. Some natural causes of deforestation are forest fires and severe droughts. Okay, so severe droughts, that is means जहाँ सूखा पड़ जाता है, जहाँ पानी नहीं, there is no rainfall, or the forest fire. That is, the forest fire is the fire which occurs due to the rubbing of the true trees, that canopy. Okay, we will understand what are the canopies, okay children. And if you have ever heard about the Amazon forest got fire, okay, that is the natural process. किसी ने वहाँ पे जाकर आग नहीं लगाई है, but due to the high temperature, when these trees get into the hot wind and then they move, उनके जो leaves हैं, उनके जो trees के leaves हैं, वो move करते हैं, okay, at that time एक spark create होता है due to the hot temperature inside the atmosphere of the forest, okay. So at there the temperature is high, and when these trees get rubbed with each other due to the wind, तो एक spark create होता है, and that time it creates fire, okay. तो पूरे जंगल में आग लग जाती है at that time, okay children. Now what are the consequences of deforestation? This is our next topic. Deforestation increases the temperature and the pollution level on the earth. Why? Because of the trees, what does they do? They inhale the carbon dioxide, and what they give us oxygen. And the carbon dioxide which is released from us, okay, that is absorbed by the plants. but the plants will only will not be there, then who will absorb this carbon dioxide? Okay, and the carbon dioxide has a tendency to increase the temperature. जहाँ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड ज़्यादा होगा वहाँ उसका टेम्परेचर बहुत ज़्यादा ही होगा. Okay, so it increases the level of the carbon dioxide and the atmosphere. Groundwater level gets lowered. जो हमारा water capacity है, water in our ground, okay, that is also getting lower. Means the groundwater is also getting less. Deforestation also disturbs the balance in the nature. If cutting of the trees continues, rainfall and the fertility of the soil will decrease, because we all know that plants bring the rain. But if the plants and the trees will not be there, then what will happen? The rainfall will not occur. Okay, so groundwater level भी फिर से low होता रहेगा, because we are using the groundwater also. Moreover, there will be increased chances of natural calamities such as floods and the droughts. How does the deforestation reduce the rainfall and can lead to floods? Let us see. Plants need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Okay. So, but the trees we have cut due to the deforestation process. Okay. Fewer trees would mean that less carbon dioxide will be used up, resulting in its increased amount in the atmosphere. This will lead to global warming as carbon dioxide traps the heat rays reflected by the earth. So children, जो carbon dioxide accept ही नहीं हुआ trees, because trees are not there. It is not inhaled by the trees. Then what will happen? That the carbon dioxide will be remain in the atmosphere, and this carbon dioxide will increase the temperature of the atmosphere. And due to the carbon dioxide, the high temperature, the global warming will occur. The increase in the temperature on the earth disturbs the water cycle and may reduce the rainfall. Okay, so जो water cycle है वो क्या हो जाएगा? पूरा disturb, and due to this the drought condition will occur, because the rainfall will not occur, so सूखा पड़ जाएगा, drought will occur. Okay. Deforestation is a major cause which leads to the change in the soil properties. If the deforestation occurs, okay, तो क्या होगा? The soil fertility will also get changed. The water level is already less because there is no rainfall. So what will happen? The soil properties will also get changed. Physical properties of the soil gets affected by the plantation and the vegetation. If we are growing crops again and again, so the soil के अंदर many nutrients are there. Okay, so what they will do? They will get over. So what we need? We need rainfall. We need to add the fertilizer. We need to add manure. Okay, then only we will get good vegetation. Fewer trees result in more soil erosion. कम trees होंगे तो क्या होगा? Soil erosion होगा. Why soil erosion will occur? Because the trees hold the soil. Okay, the roots of the trees hold the soil, but the soil in the soil, the roots are not there because the trees are not there. If the trees are not there, then who will hold the soil? No one. So whenever the rainfall will occur, the nutrients of the soil which are present on the top layer will get removed. Okay, children? Removal of the top layer of the soil exposes the lower hard and rocky layer. Okay, so the जो नीचे lower and hard area है, that will also get exposed. The soil has less humus as it is less fertile. Gradually, the fertile land gets converted into desert. It is called desertification. Okay, children? So, what is desertification? This whole is the definition of this removal, from removal till the desertification is your definition of the desertification. So in the desertification definition, what you will say that the removal of the trees has been occurred, so the soil is not able to getting holded by the trees. Okay, so the removal of the top layer of the soil has been occurring, and the expose of the lower layer has been occurred, and this lower layer is not that much fertile as compared to the first top layer. Okay, so due to this, the fertile land will also get converted into the desert land. Okay, and this whole process is known as desertification. The water holding capacity of the soil, the movement of the water from the soil surface into the ground is reduced. Okay, so trees ही नहीं होंगे तो who will hold the water and who will hold the soil? Nobody. So the infiltration rate will be reduced. So there are floods. Okay children, the water which is coming from the rainfall, जितना भी rainfall हुआ वो क्या होगा, पूरा कहाँ चला जाएगा, sea में, and then sea will get overloaded, and that's why the flood will occur. So if the trees are not there, then two things will occur, the drought and the flood. The other properties of the soil like nutrient content, texture, etc. also change because of the deforestation. Okay, so the nutrient content means the NPK, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and the other minerals which is needed by the soil for the good vegetation will not be there, and the texture means uska color will also not be proper. So our next topic, that is 7.3, conservation of forest and the wildlife. So how we will conserve the forest and the wildlife? Preserving areas for biological importance make them a part of our national heritage. If you have ever seen the zoo, the national Gir forest, okay, in the Gir forest there are lions, okay. So these are the important places where the conservation of the forest is also there, as well as the wildlife. Biosphere is that part of the earth in which living organism exists or which supports the life. Means in which the living organisms are there, and at that area is known as biosphere. And which living organism? That are animal, insects, birds, etc. Biological diversities or biodiversity. These are the two terminologies which are same. One is biological diversity, and you can also give another name, that is the biodiversity. Bio means biology. Biology में means सब organisms आ गए, all the living organisms. Okay, and diversity means उनके अंदर variation. We are, as we, you and me, we are different, and the other peoples are also different. Okay, in the same way the animals are also different. We are not having only one kind of lions, we are having different kind of lions. We are not having one type of sparrow or a bird called pigeon or a crow. We are having different kinds of crow and pigeons. Okay, किसी का color white होता है, किसी का color grey होता है. So they are different. So that is the diversity. The variety of organisms existing on the earth, their relationship and the interrelationship of with the relation with the environment is known as biodiversity. So हमारा जो interrelation है with the earth and the environment, okay, and the other organisms also, this whole thing is considered in the biodiversity. Okay, so children, this is very important and it can come in 1 mark. Role of government. How the government role is playing for the conservation of the forest and the wildlife. Government agencies also take care of the forest and the animals. The government lays down rules, methods and the policies to protect and conserve them. So they have created some rules and regulations, okay, so that nobody comes and kill that animal. Wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, biosphere reserves, etc. are protected areas for conservation of plants and animals present in that area. So if any person kills any animal or some wild animals or a domestic animal, then there are some rules and regulations regarding that person, and that person will be getting punishment. To protect our flora and fauna and their habitats, protected areas are called sanctuaries, national parks and biosphere reserves have been earmarked. So, flora means flowers, fauna means our animals, okay, and their habitat, जहाँ वो रहते हैं, okay, उनको protect करना, that is very important. And for the protection, sanctuaries, national parks, biosphere reserves, they have been formed. Here the plantation, cultivation, grazing, felling trees, hunting and poaching are prohibited. Prohibited means they are not allowed. So cultivation वहाँ allowed नहीं होता, grazing नहीं allowed होता है. They are not able to hunt. They are not supposed to hunt any animals also. Okay. Now let us see what are the sanctuary. Sanctuary are the areas where animals are protected from any disturbance to them and their habitat. So, if you ever listen about the bird sanctuary, it is present in the Nal Sarovar. Okay, so these are the sanctuaries which are helpful for the protection, and they are not allowed at there. The disturbance is not allowed. The human disturbance is not allowed for that place. What are national park? Areas reserved for wildlife where they can freely use the habitats and natural resources. If you have ever seen zoo, उसमें क्या होता है? The animals and the birds, they are in the cage, okay, but in the national park they are free to move in any place. What is biosphere reserve? Large areas of protected land for conservation of wildlife, plant and animal resources and traditional life of the tribals living in the area. So the biosphere reserve area is the area where the traditional life tribals also are living. Okay children? So जो tribal area के जो लोग थे पहले से वहाँ पर, they are still allowed to live there, but they are not allowed to kill the animals. What are the biosphere reserve? The biosphere reserves are the areas meant for conservation of biodiversity. Okay, so what they are doing, they are conserving the, वो क्या कर रहे हैं, protect कर रहे हैं किसको, biodiversity को. Biodiversity is the variety of plants, animals and microorganisms generally found in that area. उस area का protection किसके लिए कर रहे हैं हम, of the variety of plants and variety of animals as well as the microorganism present in that area. Biosphere reserves help to maintain the biodiversity and culture of that area. The biosphere reserve may also contain other protected areas in it. For example, the Panchmari Biosphere Reserve consists of one national park named Satpura and two wildlife sanctuaries named Bori and Panchmari. So, in a biosphere reserve area, there can be national park, there can be the wildlife. Okay. So, children, till now this was about the biosphere reserve and sanctuaries as well as the national park. So, children, read from the textbook. Whatever you are having any kind of doubt regarding till now, we will be discussing in our live class. Till then, thank you and have a nice day.